Good morning. Yeah, it's still morning. Good morning, everyone. Um, Nice to be here with Eduyush and Manoj. And as Manoj told, like I've been associated with Eduyush almost like now 4 years. So a quick background. I'm the vice president of one of the largest MNC in India, which is having footprint outside India as well globally. Been 20 years now with the same MNC, but I have also experience in my CA Inter. I've done my articleship, then uh, was part of a small MNC in Kolkata. So I'm originally from Kolkata, and now I'm based out of Jaipur. And yeah, I mean, to start off with, as we roll back 2020, when the COVID actually hit. So my first thought was, as Manoj was saying, to add something to my CV. Okay, from a finance point of view, and I'm a finance background. I've done my MBA from Narsimunji. I've done my MCOM from Calcutta University. I'm a Green Belt Lean Six Sigma certified as well, and but I was missing something on the finance side. Okay, and my domain was on the finance, and I wanted to pursue finance in my career as well as I was moving on. So I wanted to add something. So I had a couple of options, but I choose IFRS, and moreover that I choose Eduish. And why Eduish? I back in 2022 when I was doing the research, looking into the internet, which is the best uh, learning team which can be cooperated with, I can sit with, I can talk to them, and which was the best feedback that I was getting through the internet, right? So I enrolled to the diploma side. Okay, and that was the first time when the computer-based the software was introduced for the first time, and I'm not sure if anyone of you done it. And I think that was the only exception when we took it from home because of the COVID. And now I think it's all more uh, on the site, on the you have to go to a certain location and give it on the exam. But that was the only exception we had when we did it from the home itself, and that was the first time when the new software came into play, and it was really very difficult because it was the first time it was getting introduced. But if I still go back, what Eduis did that time was fantastic. Okay, and I still remember the classes that we had on the Sundays was also helpful. Okay, but then the challenge started to creep in, and that's the challenge of my workplace. Okay, so COVID doesn't give you any or doesn't give us any kind of leverage to work less from home. Okay, the pressure was mounting everywhere. We had to meet our targets everywhere, and the more focus and shifting was going and tilting towards the office rather than the study. Okay, I did appear for it, but it was only half preparation was there. Okay, and that's the reality of the life, because I'm assuming every one of you who are here is a working professional. Most of your time gets spent in office or from home working for the office, right? So wondering how we can get through this IFRS certification or be it diploma. Okay, and most of the time we see, like me, people appearing for the exam half cooked, right? And the results doesn't come up the way we want it to be. Okay, and then fast forward uh, 2024, when I again joined, again got connected with Manoj and Edway's team, and we had a brief talk. I was again thinking of doing the diploma, but that was where Manoj helped me and told me like what is the difference to have like a full working professional like me to opt for the IFRS certification. Okay, and when he told like, okay, it's a self-paced, it will take 2 to 3 months time if you dedicatedly do it. Then the question was how dedicated. Okay, but I took that punt. Okay, because I had gone through the diploma course, of course, through the classes, and it was really difficult for a professional like me who is having a full two-step almost in the working hours of the office. That is where I decided to go for the IFRS certification program from AICPA. And that is where when I started, we got the module. When I started, we find out like how different it is from the diploma. Because again, I'm thinking and I'm trusting every one of you is again on the higher side of your profession, higher side of your personal life. Okay, we don't need, or probably we don't prepare balance sheet on our hand or a P&L on our hand, right? It's already prepared, or done by someone else. Now, how we, what is the benefit that we can get? Okay, so that I think we'll come to that on the later side. But that is where the difference was made. When you think being a professional, how much time you can devote towards your study, and especially if you're coming back after so many years to study, it's very difficult to concentrate. Okay, you may be very good academically in our school days, in our college days, but when we step out and after 15-20 years you're coming back and trying to relearn everything, it's highly difficult. Okay, and that is where I think Eduish and Manoj helped me making the difference and taking a very good decision. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
So, okay.
Manoj.
Thanks, Saikath. I'll just move on to the other questions. So, would you be able to explain on how did you manage work-life balance with the
Yes, very
AICPA
well.
IFRS? Was it too demanding?
Yeah. So see, I think demanding is a perspective thing. Okay, more is the prioritization. Okay, so when I got enrolled into the IFRS certification from AICP, and there was a very much a kind of a deadline. Okay, when we talk like, okay, it's a, if we do it in a 2 months time, we get certain things. Okay, it's a 1 year. Okay, we have to complete it. That means you are into the game. Okay, you are in the skin of the game. You have to do something in a quick way, in a very dedicated and devotional way. Okay, now how did we do it? So as I told you, like in office we spend at least 11 to 12 hours coming in, coming out, okay, taking everything together. So and then taking out your nap time of 7 hours, so almost leaves you around 5 hours in the day. Okay, and that too, if you are a family man, you have your family to look after, you have the weekends, but okay, you still have your family. Now my suggestion and how I did was I devoted at least 1.5 hours minimum on the weekdays, and the full weekends for at least 2 months. I was on the study room dedicatedly, going through the modules, going through the options that I have, the Google Classroom notes that I was provided by Eduyush. I was going through all of them like a hawk. Okay, and that is where my work life was also getting balanced, because again, I would say like it was more from a theoretical perspective, and the intent of this course is not to make you a master in preparing a balance sheet or I have a PNL, but to understand the theory of it, how the policy can be framed, how the procedure can be framed, and what is the basic meaning and the structure of IFRS behind this program. So that's gave us a lot of work-life balance from a professional like me to work upon, because even though we have to do a lot of numerical calculations, that's fine, but from a MCQ perspective, it is balanced of both numerical and the theoretical part of it, more subjective as well, because we are more looking from a someone who can prepare the policy, for example, following the IFRS. Yeah.
Thanks, Saikath. And let's move on to the next question. So, since you've done both, and it's been about 3 years apart, I guess, between diploma and AICPA, what would be the key differences, and what's your final take on, which would you have preferred in hindsight?
Right. So going back, I will make a very clear demarcation between the diploma and the certification. Diploma is probably for gone out from the college or has just been enrolled into the CA or have done the CA final just recently, very means starting of their professional life. They want to know more about how to prepare the balance sheet, how to prepare the finance OCIs, the cash flow statements. Probably diploma is good for them because that gives them a much more clear option of how to use the IFR policies, the IAS, But someone who, like us, who has been in the system for almost like 20-25 years, who doesn't prepare the balance sheet or the P&L or the OCIs or the cash flow I mean, to their hands, but who can define why we need to have the certain IFRS in certain areas based on the local regulations, how to frame the policies around the IFRS or the IAS numbers. I would suggest IFRS is for them. Okay. And that is where you will actually drive a better coordination among your finance teams. You can guide them. You can tell them, okay, this certain adjustment is not as per the policy. We have to do as per the policy of IFRS, and you should be following whatever for revenue, for IFRS 15, for IFRS 16, you have to follow this methodology or this process. But of course, you will not be prepared in the balance sheet or the P&L. And if you want to do that, probably this diploma is for you. But I would always suggest, if you are a professional, experienced professional, you want to implement your policies, the procedures in your organization or in your area of work, then IFRS certification is the place, because that gives you the more theoretical perspective of why and how the IFRS are getting rolled on or is being put into place.